Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. As you can tell, I lost my voice, but it's starting to come back a little bit, so you'll just have to excuse me. But today's video is an exciting one. It's going to be a little bit of a haul video. Disclaimer, not everything from here is actually from Sephora. That's just the bag that I had laying around. But I thought, you know what, typically each year I do a low buy, and I haven't really announced a low buy. I haven't really given myself rules for a low buy or anything like that. But I find that looking back on the purchases that I've made so far in January, February, and the beginning of March, we've done a little bit of a low buy. So I am here to share what I've picked up so far this year. And if you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking. I love makeup. I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, I would love to have you subscribe and be part of the Kate Bella fam. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. So my goal is to kind of go in order by the purchases that I've made, and like I said, I typically try to do a low buy each year. Didn't really get around to like coming up with rules and limitations or anything like that. But looking back at the spending that I track on my phone, that's kind of what happened. The first item that I picked up, I did film a video on this, I'll have it linked down below, is the Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation. I did get the shade 3 Neutral. I have a whole video on this. I initially didn't think I was going to get this, but after watching several videos, hearing people talk about it, hearing the claims on this foundation, I thought, you know what? It sounds like something I might really enjoy, and I do have a standalone Sephora by my work, so I went in there, picked up this foundation, did one of those like order online where you can go and pick it up, and I have to say, I am impressed. I do find that it's not like extra hydrating if you have super dry skin. I know I've heard people say that, but for my dry skin, living in hot and humid Texas, I do find that I get a nice natural coverage. You do get some glowy luminosity, so if you're oily, you may not be a fan. I feel like the 3 Neutral shade works well for me, and overall, I'm enjoying this foundation, but this is the first item that I picked up in 2022. The next item I actually anti-hauled. Again, I have a video on this, but it is the McGrath eyeshadow palette, Diamond of the First Water, in collab with the Netflix show Bridgerton, and I initially said I was going to pass on this entire collection. I love Bridgerton. I like Pat McGrath. I thought the packaging was great, but packaging alone wasn't enough for me to purchase a product. However, I kept seeing reviews. I kept hearing people talk about this eyeshadow palette, and I thought, you know what? I kind of think I want it. I saw some looks, and even though there are like some bright pops and some pinks that I don't typically gravitate towards, I did see the looks that people were creating, and I thought, you know what? I could do that. I could wear this eyeshadow palette. I could create these looks. So I picked it up, and I have to say, I do enjoy this palette. I do enjoy the eyeshadows. I thought they worked well for me. It's not a palette that I find myself reaching for time and time again, just because you do only have, oh my gosh, you do only have like these 6 shades right here, but overall, I like it. It's good quality. I think the packaging is great, and it's kind of more like of a collector's item, I'd say. It's super expensive. I mean, I do like it, and I like the eyeshadows, but it's not gonna be like an eyeshadow palette that I reach for regularly. You know what I mean? The last item that I purchased in January is not even exciting. It's just a MAC Fix Plus. It's just a repurchase. This is what I use to spray my brush before putting shimmery eyeshadow on. This is what I use to spray my whole face. This is what I use to spray my beauty blender before I blend in my foundation. And I go through these all the time. If you watch my empties videos, you know that. So when I ran out, made an Ulta purchase, went and picked another one of these up. That was it for January. No big purchases, no big hauls, just a few products that I wanted to try. Then going into February, Angelica Nyqvist announced her collaboration with Odens Eye, the Hella palette. I have not tried Odens Eye. I've wanted to try them out, and I'm a huge fan of Angie. I've been following her for years. I love her videos, and I thought, you know what? This would be a great way for me to not only support a content creator that I really truly love and enjoy, but also to try out a brand that I want to try and get outside of my comfort zone with some fun looks. So last week I actually posted 3 looks using this. You can hear my my thoughts there, but this was my first purchase of February. Definitely check out my 3 looks. You can hear my first thoughts there, but the packaging is stunning. Definitely impressed, but my first purchase of February. Then we got to the end of February. Honestly, that probably would have been the one and only purchase that I made in February, except for I ran out of my Tatcha, the liquid silk canvas primer. I had the smaller size of the solid, used that up, had the liquid, used that up, and I really do enjoy that primer. Typically what I use is my Glow Recipe and Niacinamide Dewdrops, and then I would take this primer and put it where I have like larger pores and on my forehead wrinkles. So I ran out of this and I was like, you know what? I kind of miss it in my collection. So repurchased this in a mini because I'm a fan of minis, first of all. I get to use the product up, but also they're a little bit cheaper. But then I thought, you know, it's kind of silly. I haven't purchased much, and it's kind of silly just to make like one purchase and not get something else with it, but to get such a small product. So I have had my eye on the Patrick Ta blush duos for such a long time, but I finally bit the bullet. He came out with a new shade, She's Blushing. I actually have it in here. I have not used it yet. I want to take some pictures of it. So she's completely unswatched, but this is her right here. I've been wanting to try his blush duos. I've heard really good things about them. I'm not a huge cream lover or a huge cream fan, but you do have a cream and a powder blush. So I kind of want to use them in conjunction with each other. And I saw my friend Emily from Emily's Makeup Bag talk about this blush. She really enjoyed it. She thought it was great. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to jump on board the Patrick Ta train. And since I'm placing an order, I'm just going to pick this up with it. And believe it or not, that's it. Like, that is all that I have purchased in 2022. If I had to like look back at my YouTube career and all the low buys that I've done and everything, this is probably the least amount of money that I've spent in a year, or the least amount of products that I've picked up in the beginning of the year. And so then that made me think, typically I go into project pans wanting to use stuff. Typically I go into a low buy wanting to not purchase a ton of makeup, but now it's like I'm panning a product that's not in a project pan, and I only purchased 7 items. 6 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know where I got 7 from. 6 items. I've only purchased 6 items so far in 2 months, and now we are in the beginning of March, and I don't really have, I mean, I always have a running wish list. I always have items that I want, but I don't really have any plans to make any purchases anytime soon until the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, which is just around the corner, and the Sephora VIB sale, which is coming up. So that's going to do it for this video. As you can see, talking is difficult, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, but definitely make sure you are subscribed before you go, because I am going to have some Ulta content and some Sephora content coming up with their 2 sales, so if you are into that kind of stuff, you won't want to miss it. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.